Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, and Kakadash. I want to give double honor to Apostle Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. My shalom honor the listeners and believers, the Akim and Aqua stand rooted in this faith and truth. This is the brother Ayawa from the Garrett Branch of Great Millstone, Laurel, and come back with another edifying video. And today's video is going to be going into examination. Title being Examination is Needed for Growth, right? Because we understand that we're going through the straight gate, which is a path of difficulty. But through these difficult trials and through all of these different things that the Lord is bringing us through, we're growing thereby, right? Same way that it says, what's it called? Desire the sincere milk, right? By desiring the sincere milk, and we're growing off the what's it called? Words of the Lord. We're being made better, right? We were in this world for so long that old man had a hold of us, man. But now the Lord has brought us to the light, and He's made us sober. It's time for that old man to die. And how is that old man dying, man? By going through these different growing pains, man, through these different examinations. So you're supposed to be in this truth, examining yourself every day, man, seeing where you're falling off, seeing where you're falling short, seeing what can be made better. Right? Every day that old man should be dying a little bit more and that new man should be growing. Okay. So we're gonna start with the word examination. And Lord, in this video is edifying. So with the word examination, it says put someone to question in regard to knowledge, competence, or skill. Inquire into qualifications and capabilities, inspect or survey carefully, scrutinize. All right, so you should be expecting yourself very carefully, pretty much examining your house, man. Right, because did not the Lord say, matter of fact, we can get it, and then we can go back to our main first scripture. Give me 1 second.
Shalom.
Shalom, Yahweh, Shalom.
What scripture you starting with?
I was gonna start with 2 Corinthians, but I'm gonna get this Matthews real quick. All right, going into the book of Matthews. Give me 1 second. It says, we're going to start in Matthew 6:22. It says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore that eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. Right? Understanding that our body should be single, man. Focus on the kingdom, focus on this truth, focus on the Lord. Right? And the more that we focus on these things, the more that we're going to be growing thereby, the more that it's going to end up hastening that day. Right? But understanding that this is also going through that examination, man. Because in the next verse, it says 6:23. But if that eye be evil, that whole body shall be full of darkness. Therefore, the light that is in thee be darkness. How great is that darkness? All right, so you have to examine yourself and see where you're falling short, because those shortcomings can end up weeding you out this truth, or those shortcomings can end up being stumbling blocks later on that end up having you also fall out or get caught up. All right, so we have to examine these things to make sure that we're actually being sincere in this thing, that we're actually doing the things that are pleasing to the Lord, because it's so easy to fall into adverse temptations. It's so easy to fall back into those old ways due to the fact of, we understand it says when you depart yourself from evil, you make yourself a prey. So the devil is out here trying to get you to fall back into those old perverse temptations, and also using these things around you, man. Just like in the movie The Matrix, what was Mr. Smith? They said the lady in the red dress, everything around you could be used as a tool in order to lead you out. Right. But if you can't stay on your pivot, if you keep your eyes single, right, it's gonna be harder for these things to end up tripping you up. Okay. So we're gonna go back to 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Now we got the word examine, which we could read it one more time. The word examine goes into expect, survey, carefully scrutinize, view, observe in all aspects with the purpose of forming a correct opinion or judgment. Right? Now we're understanding that we're examining ourselves once again to make sure that there's no leaven inside of us, any type of sin, different things. Now we understand we're gonna always sin because we're in these flesh, right? But you should be sinning less each day, man. Okay. And I like the word it says correct opinion or judgment, right? Which leads to, we're gonna get it real quick because it just came to the mind. Proverbs. All right, Proverbs 4. A father's instruction, and these instructions is what's going to end up helping you, man. These instructions was going to end up being a guide to you, especially in the times that are to come, because we have to understand in the times to come is going to be the ultimate tribulation, man, the ultimate time of trouble, right? But if we're studying now, we're proving ourselves and working on these things now, when that time comes, you're going to be ready, right? So it says straight to the point. Matter of fact, where is it at? Because I also want to get an NLT. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Because on my phone, I can get an NLT. Proverbs 4 actually starts at verse 1. Proverbs 4 and 1, I'll read it in the KJV. It says, "Hear ye children, the instruction of a father, and tend to know understanding." Right? But in NLT it says, "My children, listen with your father's Slakia. My children, listen when your fathers correct you. Pay attention and learn good judgment." So the Lord is teaching us good judgment, man, through all of these different trials, man. But in order to get that good judgment, you have to go through these different things and learn from them. Right? One of the things that our elders always said, your best teacher is your last mistake. All right, you're going to continue to fall and fall and fall, but every time you fall, you get back up and try a different way until you get it correct. Right? And we're going to keep falling until the Lord comes back due to the fact we're in this flesh. But the whole point is you have to try, man. You have to try to correct these things, man. If you're trying to correct yourself now, you're not going to end up again having to be corrected in the end when everybody else is being judged. All right. So the Lord is teaching us good judgment now through these straight gates, man. That's all I want to get. Wait. Yep. Actually, we read verse 2. I'm reading the KJV and the NLT 2. It says, "For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law." And we understand that this good doctrine, this was going to end up keeping us, man. All right. We understand that the Lord is that chief cornerstone, man. And every man that buildeth his house upon this stone, you're going to be stable. But we understand we're coming in those times where it's going to try every man's works. It's going to try, what are you made of? What have you been doing? All right. That's why you have to examine yourself now so that you don't get caught up. NLT states, "For I am giving you good guidance. Don't turn away from my instruction." And we've seen where we've got from turning away from the Lord's instruction. Right? When you turn away from the Lord's instruction, you turn away from the Lord's guidance, and you lean upon your own understanding, you're destroying yourself. It says, "Every man that hateth the Lord's ways, love of death," roughly paraphrasing, man. Right? So we're no longer being in those type of steeds, but we're changing ourselves to try to imitate the Lord, man. All right. Let's get that word imitate.
They got preach about the to back you up.
Okay. The word imitate goes into, hold on, I just think I spelled that wrong. There we go. It says imitate, to take example by, follow or attempt to copy an action of manner. So we're trying to copy the Lord's manner, the Lord's way, because he showed us by coming in the flesh and walking that walk that it's possible, man. All right. And now the Lord is being our intercessor. So when we do fall, the Lord is there to help pretty much give us be our lawyer, to pretty much say, give him more time. Right. Let me sup with him. Let me dung it. Okay. So the Lord is working with us in order to get better, man. Every time we take a step, every time we do something that's spiritual, the Lord is right there with us, helping us, man. Okay. What'd you have up?
Proverbs 19 and 20. Get it. I got it in the AM.
Get it, AMP.
It says, listen to counsel, receive instruction, and accept correction. It says that you may be wise in the time to come. You know, that is matched up, with the Isaiah 33:6, you have knowledge shall be stability at that time. We're gonna need this knowledge, and we're gonna have to examine ourselves, during that day, because if we're not living up to how we're supposed to be living, and how we're teaching, we're gonna be found as hypocrites, and we're not gonna be protected.
Read that one more time.
It says, listen to counsel, receive instruction, and accept correction, that you may be wise in the time to come.
Right. So we have to listen to that counsel, and that wise counsel is coming from the Lord and through our elders, man. You have to understand that your elders have went through the things you went through, so they're going to help you be able to avoid certain situations. Right. And it said everything that was written before time was written for our learning. So they've been made examples in order to help us get further in this thing and at a quicker rate, man. All right. Ready that last part again?
It says that you may be wise in the time to come. I'm gonna get verse 21 as well.
Go ahead.
It says, many plans are in a man's mind, but it is the Lord's purpose for him that will stand. It's in parentheses, it says, be carried out.
All right. So it's the Lord, man. You have to trust the process, understand that the Lord is guiding your steps, man. All right. When you come into this truth, you can't sit here and try to be on a level that you're not ready for yet. Because if you try to get on those certain levels, it can destroy you. So you have to desire the sincere milk. Those desire the sincere milk is those what's it called? The foundation, man. Right? Them blocks that's gonna end up keeping you sturdy, man. Right? It says the like the mustard seed, and when you go into the mustard seed, a tree always goes down and root itself before it comes up. Right? So we're building our foundation now because you have to understand when that time to come, it's your foundations, right? The things that you've built upon, the things that you're relying upon, what's going to end up keeping you, man. Right? So when certain things come your way, they're not going to be able to sway you. Certain things come your way, they're not going to be able to get you out of your wits, man. But see, a lot of these people who aren't examining themselves now, a lot of these people are going off their own understanding and not doing the things that please the Lord. Right? When that time comes, they're going to get tripped up by every certain little thing, man. Right? They're going to get caught up in every different which way. Why? Because they're not desiring these sincere words. They're not doing the things that are pleasing the Lord. They're not actually trying to build themselves up now, man. Okay,
Feel free to back you up.
go ahead.
You can break it down. 1 Corinthians 3, verses 12 and 13.
Go ahead.
It says, "Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, it says every man's work."
Start with 10.
Verse 10.
Yeah, start with 10.
It says, hold on, let me go inside of it. It says, according to the grace of the Most High, which is given unto me as a wise builder, so like a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon.
All right, so the Lord laid the foundation, and now we're building upon it, right, through His words and His wisdoms. But you have to pay attention on how you're building, man. You have to be very careful on what you're, what's it called, taking in, right? So you have to examine yourselves, man. Okay, because a lot of everybody doesn't realize it, but everybody's building without even knowing it. Right. And that's why I always, every time we go into these type of things, I always bring up the story of Three Little Pigs, man. The Three Little Pigs all had built in a different way. Hay, I think one was hay, one was straw, and one was rock. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing through the story which little pig had endured it all. Right. And those other two little pigs end up trying to lean upon that pig, man. Right. And that's how he was kept safe from the big bad wolf. Right. So it's the same thing, man. We're building upon that rock, like it says in the book of Matthew, chapter 7. Right. And when the rains descended and the floods came upon, right, it was tried. It was already proven, man.
That's the
Right.
spirit. Spirit, I would say the spirit you brought it up because what did he do? You know, he was blowing their house down. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and what was he using? You know, wind. And what is wind? You know, likened to in the scriptures. You know, destruction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he had a sure foundation.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it says, verse 11, 1 Corinthians 3 and 11. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Now, if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
But see, the difference is the Lord is already bringing us through that fire, man. He's already building us up. So when that stuff comes down, you're already ready for it, man. Right? It's like a person trying to hop in the sauna for the first time versus a person that's already been in the sauna every single day, man. You're going to see the difference, man. You're going to start to see what their foundation is built on. You're going to start seeing what they're made of, man. Right? So the Lord, when that time comes, He's finna try everybody. Right? And He already knows who's going to end up enduring because He's been supping with those ones, man. Right? It says, every man's work shall be made manifest, for that day shall declare it. And that day is going to declare what you've been doing with this grace period, what you've been doing with this liberty that the Lord has given you. Right? It's going to be a clear evidence of those who serve the Lord and those who didn't, man. Because then you're going to start seeing what it says. In that day, man shall be finer than the gold of Ophir. Right? It's going to be real precious of a man of the Lord is going to be made real precious in that day, man. Because you're going to start seeing it on them. You're going to see a different glow to them. Right? When everybody else is losing their wits, when everybody else is is just moving, the saying is flight or flight, right? When they're just moving off emotion or moving off beast-like mindsets, that man of the Lord is going to understand on how to move. Why? Because of this word, man. This
Yep.
word is what's going to end up being their guide in that day.
If I made to ask you a point, the man of the Lord, we're gonna be content. We're not gonna be trying to break in people's houses.
Mm,
We're gonna have a calm spirit as well. We're not gonna panic in certain situations because the
yep.
Lord already putting us through situations now. That's the straight gate. Certain situations, hey, we be wondering, hey, how we gonna get out of it, and then eventually we keep on praying. Have faith. And not panic, and eventually the Lord gets us out of the situation.
Yep. What do you say? Through all temptation, I'll give you a way out. Right? He
Yep.
is that way out, man. We're running into that stronghold now, right? In order to have that covering in time later. Right. But you have to examine yourself, man. Because if you're just moving in this truth, just going with the motions and all of these different things, are you really examining yourself? Are you really growing? Right? Or are you no different than a hypocrite, man? Because what did it say in the book of Matthew's 24, man? We can get it actually. That was it on this. Matter of fact, it's a little bit
Kind
more of
I
this.
would say maybe one or two more verses, maybe.
Read this out, then
But
we can get the other one.
yeah,
Four.
I forget 14 and 15.
Yep.
1 Corinthians 3:14. If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward.
Right. And the Lord has said he comes back with his reward with him, right? To give every man according to his works. Right. So if you what's it called, endure all of those different things, right? Until the Lord comes back, you're gonna get blessed manyfold, man. And understand it also that those blessings are gonna start pouring out during that time, man. Why? Because you're putting in the work now. Right? Why would the Lord give you a blessing if you're not even working now? Why would he reward you and you haven't did anything in order to earn it? Okay.
Verse 15. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire.
So we understand that the Lord is going to keep his promise, but everybody has to make that sacrifice, man. Whether you're sacrificing yourself now as a living sacrifice and going through the straight gate and doing it, going through all these different trials as the Lord is proving you, or you're going to have to go through that fire then, those scourges of amendment, all of those different things, and be reborn in the kingdom to come. Okay. So the whole thing is it's a mindset thing, man. We didn't join this thing in order to be that same old man. We didn't join this thing to not grow. Right? This is a truth that's what it's like moving waters, living waters, man. You're constantly learning, you're constantly growing,
That's the
right?
spirit, bro.
But you have to be in the spirit, you have to be present, right? In order to see these things, man, in order to continue to grow. You can't be in this thing and become stagnant, man. Right?
I got something for you.
Go ahead.
Uh, it's not a precept or nothing, but I was watching the movie Kingsman last night. And I knew it was a spirit because I ain't watching a minute, but it was the first one. And pretty much uh, the guy's teacher, the main character's teacher, he was like, true nobility is not being more superior than the next man, but being more superior than the old man.
Mm,
Your previous self.
yep.
And that's what we're aiming for, true nobility. Being better each and every day. Examine ourselves. To be greater than our old man.
Because every man goes, we all go through a lot of the same things, but your walk is made specifically for you, right? So when you're going through certain things, you have to understand that this testing was made to make you better, man. Certain things that you go through, another brother either already went through, or he might not go through that same type of testing, but he has his own testing set up in order to make his perfection because every brother lacks in certain different areas, man. Right? So you're not fighting against the next man, but you're fighting against the man within, the man in the mirror, right? What it says, this flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing, right? So you have to endure, man. You have to fight. It says, "Let no man take thy crown." Now, when it says, "Let no man take thy crown," it's not just saying all of these different things around you, but it's also talking about you yourself, right? You could be your own biggest stumbling block in this truth, man. Right? So you got to get out of your own way and continue to grow. Get that Matthew 24 that we was talking about, and then we can spin back to Second Corinthians. It says I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm gonna start at 25 and go down. Matthew 24 and 25, it says, "Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord had made ruler over his household to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find so doing." Right? The Lord wants to come back and find righteousness upon the earth, man. He's coming back to see who resembles him. And those are the ones he's going to save, man. Right? But only way that you can resemble the Lord is by imitating the Lord, by testing yourself and trying yourself, man. The Lord has proven us to be friends. Right? So you have to love these things. When you're going through different trials and tribulations, you have to love these things because it's showing that the Lord is working with you and he sees something in you that you don't see in yourself yet. Right. But the more that you go through this truth, the more that you grow with experience, you start to see the things in yourself also. You start to learn your own lot. Right. That's what's so important about testing yourselves, because the more you test yourself, the more that you see, okay, I struggle in this area, or I struggle with these type of things. So let me not put myself in these certain situations because I understand that I know I'm gonna fall, right? Or I know I lack in this area, so let me strengthen myself in this area, because you have to understand when this thing fully pops off, they're gonna come down with all great wrath, right? That's why it's so important to put on the whole armor of the Lord, because if you have to say you just got the chest plate and the body stuff on, but you don't got your helmet on, you're lacking in the area, you're exposed, right? So it's so important to have check every what's it called? What's it called? Check all your bases, man. Make sure everything that is covered every day. Every day is another day that you have to, okay, what can I do today to better myself? Each day should be, you should be better than the last day, man.
which goes into being circumspect.
Con. It says verse 27. I'm not 27, 47. Verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods, which we was going into. That's those blessings, man. But those blessings are only set up for those that endure unto the end. All right. Verse 48. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming. Now, some people think that you're going to just say this actually like physically or in your mind, but you're saying it with your actions, man. Right? When you start going through the motions, you start getting lackadaisical. You don't do the videos. You're not reading as much as you're supposed to. You're starting to fall back into those old ways, and it's so easy to fall back into those ways when you're not being circumspect. This is your mindset. You're saying it by your actions, man. You're saying it by your body language, right? It says, verse 49, shall begin to smite his fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunken. So we're the Lord has made us sober, man. And we're supposed to be the children of the light. We're supposed to stay sober, right? But if you're going back and doing those old things, hanging around people you're not supposed to be hanging around, you're gonna end up falling back into those old ways and being a dog that returns his vomit before you know it, and out of this truth. It says, verse 50, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, in an hour that he is not aware of. All right. So it's so important to stay aware, man. Stay on your pivot, stay examining yourself, man. Right. If you stay examining yourself, man, when that time comes, you're not going to get caught up unawares. Right. This thing is going to come upon you like a thief in the night. Because why? You've been examining yourself, you've been measuring the times, you've been staying upon your watch like the Lord has told you to do. Right. So when the Lord comes back, you're going to be ready, man. Now, no man knows the type of things that we're going to be going through in that day, but you're going to be so built up on faith and hope that you know that no matter what, the Lord has you. Go back to that 2 Corinthians, finish that out. It says 2 Corinthians 13:5 again. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, had that Yahweh Mashiach is in you, except you be reprobates. So you have to prove your own self, man. Nobody knows you better than yourself. Actually, the Lord knows you better than yourself, but you know the things that you fall short at. You know the things that end up you're struggling with, man. So you have to prove yourself, man. Every time you pass these little tests, those little tests is going to end up helping you pass the big test. Short-term goals end up leading to long-term goals. It may not seem like much when you're doing it, but every little time that I did good with this, I did good with that, before you know it, it's become a routine, it's become a habit, right? It says habits are easily formed, but hard to break, right? So it's hard to get out of that old man. It's hard to get out of those old ways, but with true dedication, true testing, right? And you're actually trying to fight, You can break these things. It says what in Philippians 4:13. I could do all things through Yahweh Shem Yahshua who strengthens me, man. Right. So you can get out of all those old ways. Every brother has their testimonies when they first came into truth and they had different demons that you just stop quick. Like for example, the weed demon, man. Right. Certain brothers when they first came in, they will smoke and they feel like they can never break that habit. But then next thing you know, through the Lord, which leads your steps, you can just go cold turkey and never look back, man. Right. So you have to trust in these things, man. But you also have to put in the work. What's that saying? It says, "Show me your faith, and I will show you my faith by my works." Right? It's tangible, man. One with the other, peanut butter jelly, baby. Right? So you need to show that you need to do these things in order to prove yourselves, but you're also proving yourself to the Lord, man. It says, verse 6, "But I trust that you shall know that we are not reprobates, man." Right? We believe ourselves to be those men. Now we say that we don't say that proudly. We saying that Lord willingly, but through our actions, we're believing, we're trying to show ourselves to be those men. That goes into that imitation again. Give me 1 second. I have some other preachers unless you got one right now.
You got it up.
Galatians 6 and 4. It says, "But let every man prove his own works, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another." Right? So you have to prove your own works, man. Right? This is what gives you that strength to say and to have that confidence to say that possibly you could be one of those men. Because every day that you enduring this truth and you survive another day and you still got this truth and you're doing the things that please the Lord, you're a day closer to possibly being one of those men. Right? So every day closer is another day. What's the brothers? San Fran, I believe they say we're gonna start this video with the same saying. One day close to the Esau Edom's downfall, one day closer to the Lord's return in the kingdom, man. Right? You have to believe those things, man. All right. And by having that belief, that's what's going to end up powering you to continue to endure and continue to what's called test yourself, man. All right, give me 1 second. I have some other ones. Oh, I love this one because this is the truth, man. Not only are you testing yourself, but the Lord is trying you. He's putting you through these different things in order to strengthen you, man. Psalms 26 and 2. Wait, I'm gonna start at 1. It says, "For I have walked in mine integrity. I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide." All right, in the book of Proverbs 4, it says, "Wisdom shall guide thy steps, right? You shall not stumble," roughly paraphrasing. All right, so through this wisdom, this is what end up having you what's it called? Stable, man. It says, "Examine me, O Lord, and prove me, try my reins in my heart." All right, so the Lord is proving us, man, through this fire, man. He's helping us, he's showing us exactly what he say, come and make thy abode with thee. He's showing us where we're going off and how to fix it, man. That's why he's the great physician. Right? Even though he's not here, he sent his comforter in order to help you and comfort you in these times until he comes back. Right? But do you believe in these things? And in order to show your belief, you show it by your actions. It's full circle. Right? So you have to love when you're being tried. You have to love when you're put in the fire, man. Why? Because it's showing the Lord loves you. Right? Favorite scriptures, one of the Hebrews. It says, "Every man that the Lord loveth, he put through chastisement," right? It shows you to be one of the Lord's sons. But if you be without chastisement, you are a bastard, right? Now
Appreciate,
we know what you said.
appreciate after you make your point.
I said, now we know through all of these different things, and if the Lord is still with us, is still putting you through these things, that the Lord is still, He's right there with you. As long as you're going through this, hey, believe that the Lord is still working with you. My mama always told me, don't, what's it called? Get upset when I'm yelling. You should be scared when I stop yelling because it means I don't care. All right. What's your precept?
Sirach 2 and
You
4 and 5, straight to the point.
got it.
It says, verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." So
You
this
got
what
it.
comes with the territory.
Mhm.
We gotta remain cheerful. When we get brought in a lower state. When we in trouble or we lose things in this world. Because at the end of the day, it's the Lord chastising us. And what's that? I think you brought it out already, but in Hebrews, Lord don't chastise. If you don't chastise you, then that makes you a bastard. In His eyes. And we're not trying to be
God.
bastards. You know. What's another scripture to back that up? Happily is him that is corrected. You know,
God.
and that's one of the ways that the Lord corrects us. He put us in lower states. So we could think about and ponder about what we did. You know,
Mm.
that's one of the main ways you can learn. In this world. Because you're not gonna learn it when you're comfortable. You're gonna learn when you're uncomfortable.
Says the heart is made better through sorrow in the house of mourning. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, you
Yep.
learn more when you're going through things, man. When you're in a house of mirth, what are you learning? All right. But when you're going through things, you're being made better. You're growing in experience, and you're being hardened. Right. So the Lord is hardening you now. So when all these different things come to pass, you're not going to be phased. Right. You're not going to get caught up. You're not going to get tricked. All right. Another saying, in the world, it's just like in the boxing world, a fighter isn't made from the head down. It's made from the legs up. Right. So that's why the Lord is breaking you down. He has to break you completely down in order to build you back up. He has to knock off all those old ways, all that old dross, everything that you learned in this world, throw it away. All right. Come back as newborn babes, and I'm going to teach you the correct way, man. Right now, it's going to be hard. Right. It's meant to be hard, but the end result is going to be so beautiful, man. It says what in Book of Hebrews also? It says, no chastisement is joyful, but grievous. Nevertheless, it yieldeth the peaceable fruit. Right. So it's not going to be enjoyable while you're going through it, but at the end, it's going to be also worth it. The journey is going to be well worth it, man. That's why you have to love the journey, man. You have to love all the different things that you're going through because the journey is where all the stories come from, man. Oh, you made it out of that? Dang, bro, you made it through that too? All right, so when you get in the kingdom of heaven, you're going to have a beautiful story to tell on how you survived Babylon through the Lord, man. All right. I had another one, but I just lost it. It'll come back. Hold up, let me get the songs. Oh, it says, for the present things that we go through are not able to be compared to the things that shall be revealed in us.
What's that?
Right.
Romans 8
I
or
think so.
Romans 12? I think it's Romans 8 or Romans 12. 12. One of them.
Uh,
Let me see. Yeah, Romans 8 and 18.
yep. It says Romans 8 and 18, for I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. All right. This thing, time is a concept, man. So when you're going through punishment or you're going through any type of thing, time seems like it's going forever. Right. But when we finally get to that state that the Lord intended us to be at, man, it's gonna be like a nightmare. You're not even gonna think about those old things as much as you do now, man. All right. When that glory is revealed, oh, it says we suffer with the Lord. So when he is glory, we glory with the Lord, roughly paraphrasing. So when the Lord gets his glory, Lord gonna be of those number, we're gonna get the glory with the Lord, man. And we're gonna start reaping all of the benefits for all the work that we're doing now. All right. So if you're in a state of you're getting lackadaisical, you're not motivated as much as you were used to. Hey, Lord willing, this video is getting you back in that mindset of remember why you started, right? Remember why you first got into this thing, man, and continue to push forward. Those days that are the hardest are the days that count the most, right? So when you're not in the spirit and you don't have a topic, hit the button. The Lord gonna guide you, right? And those are the days that the Lord loves the most because you're fighting through all of those different demons and you're still enduring and pushing the word, man. It's showing your integrity. It's showing what you really stand for, man. It's showing that you really actually want to do this thing, man, sincerely, right? So continue to have that mindset. Don't what's it called? Don't be wary of well doing, right? Continue to do the right thing. Continue to fight for the truth, man. And the Lord is gonna fight for thee, and He's gonna bless you manyfold. Okay, it's a lot. Psalms 139. Swag Psalms 139 and 23. It says, "Search me, O Lord, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting." All right, so the Lord is searching us, man. He's trying us, and He's showing us the things that are wrong about us, and He's helping us fix those things. Now, sometimes it might take a while to fix those things. You might have to bump your head time and time and time again, but eventually, you trust in the process. You're gonna end up getting it right through the Lord, man. Right? And He's showing us. That's why that Proverbs 4 comes around full thing. He's showing us wisdom, and He's showing us the way to everlasting life, man. That's why we're seeking the old paths, man. All right. The Lord has given us another opportunity in order to prove ourselves, man. So we're taking advantage, full advantage of this opportunity that's been given, bestowed upon us, man. Right? You had anything else?
Yeah, I can get this one verse.
Where you at?
You can get Zephaniah 1 and 12.
Zephaniah 1 and 12, it says, "And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leads, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will He do evil."
Yeah, and when you're going into settling your leads, it's being comfortable, in your own way, So how about Shemi Shai? They're gonna search Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a people before a place. So He's gonna search our hearts. See what we made out of. You know,
Yep.
see what the fuck we've been doing. Rough paraphrasing. So hey, if
Yep.
you set on your leads and you comfortable, hey, if you keep going down, it goes into our house is being in desolation. We're gonna be rough paraphrasing. You're gonna be destroyed. So don't get caught up being comfortable in your own ways. Not trying to change, not trying to examine yourself, but do the
Gone.
right thing. Because time is short.
Yep. Love what the Apostle Ricard says. He said, "You gotta fuck the fire." You gotta love being uncomfortable in this thing, man. Right? Change is good. Change is necessary, man. Being uncomfortable helps. Right? When you're comfortable, there's no growth. You're not growing when being comfortable. It's just like working out. You working out and you're not feeling no pump. You're not feeling no burn. You're not getting no pain. Well, clearly you doing something wrong. You ain't doing the workout right. Okay, so it's the same thing in this truth, man. You have to learn to love when you're going through these different trials. Learn to love when you're in the fire. Learn to love when you're under the microscope, man. Because when you're under the microscope, you're being made better. Okay.
Mm.
So when
Yeah,
you think nobody's watching, you think you're alone, you can get away with certain things. The Lord is watching. Always remember that. What do you want to say?
I was just definitely say the same thing. I was gonna say, in this truth, in the life that we walk in, it's a love-hate relationship. But you gotta learn to have more love, for it than the hate, because hey, the love, is gonna produce, like you said, the peaceful fruits. You know, it's gonna make sure the good is gonna outweigh the bad. To simply put it, you got it.
So yeah, with that, I ain't want to keep going too long into this, man. Just faith booster, man. Because I was listening to the brother Amawan Gabar. He was going to the same
Mhm.
thing, and I was thinking like, what am I going to go into? What am I going to go into? And the Lord gave me that to go into, man. And that's what's mighty. That's what also helps when you're watching other brothers or you're doing something in the spirit. You might not always have to be reading. Sometimes you're not in the spirit to read. Watch a video, or if you're not watching video, read. Do something that's in the spirit that's going to make you better, and it's going to end up causing a spark that can end up giving you inspiration, man. All right. So, Lord willing, us doing this video is giving the next man inspiration to help build the body or build yourself, man. So, if the brother didn't have anything, go ahead and close up and say with that,
Yeah,
we want to give
you
all
got it.
praise. We want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh,
I will
Bahasham,
Hashem,
Yahweh
Shai,
Bahasham,
Hashem,
Kakadash.
Kakadash,
Man, love this thing, man. Want to say Kwam Yasharala,
One Yasharala,
all chemotherapy
Baba Ba.
26, man. Soon.
Oh.